In the heart of London's winter chill, something extraordinary was happening behind the palace walls. As January 2026 unfolded, the Princess of Wales was quietly orchestrating what fashion insiders would later call the most revolutionary style transformation in royal history. What began as whispered conversations between Kate and her trusted stylist had evolved into a carefully crafted plan that would not only redefine royal fashion but also send shockwaves through the global style community. From sustainable luxury pieces that spoke to a generation concerned about climate change, to bold color choices that defied decades of royal protocol, Princess Kate was about to embark on a month-long journey that would see her break barriers, challenge expectations, and ultimately prove that modern royalty could be both respectful of tradition and fearlessly innovative. The world was watching, cameras were ready, and Kate Middleton was about to show everyone that being a princess in 2026 meant writing your own rules while honoring the crown you wear. This is the story of how 1 month changed everything we thought we knew about royal style, and how a mother of 3 from Berkshire continued to captivate hearts and headlines around the globe. The stage was set. The fashion world held its breath. And Princess Kate stepped into January 2026 ready to make history, one stunning outfit at a time. The first signs that January 2026 would be different came on a crisp Tuesday morning, when Princess Kate stepped out of Kensington Palace, wearing something nobody expected. Gone were the predictable navy blazers and safe midi dresses that had become her signature. Instead, she emerged in a stunning emerald green coat that seemed to catch every ray of winter sunlight, paired with boots that whispered confidence with each step. The coat itself told a story. Crafted by a British designer known for using recycled wool and sustainable practices, it represented everything Kate had been quietly working toward behind palace doors. For months, she had been meeting with environmental experts, fashion sustainability advocates, and young designers who were reimagining what luxury could look like in an era of climate consciousness. Her stylist, Natasha Archer, had been instrumental in this transformation. Together, they had spent countless hours discussing how royal fashion could evolve without losing its dignity or purpose. The conversations often stretched late into the evening, with Kate poring over designer portfolios and Natasha explaining the intricate details of sustainable fashion production. The emerald coat appearance was strategic, timed perfectly for Kate's first official engagement of the new year at the London Climate Innovation Centre. As she walked through the facility, meeting young entrepreneurs and scientists working on environmental solutions, her outfit choice spoke volumes without saying a word. The press noticed immediately, with fashion journalists scrambling to identify the designer and understand the significance of her choice. What they discovered was remarkable. The coat was part of a new collection that used innovative fabric, made from ocean plastic and recycled materials, transformed into something that looked and felt like the finest traditional wool. The boots were crafted by a small British company that employed refugees and used only ethically sourced materials. Even her handbag carried meaning, designed by a cooperative of women artisans from developing countries who received fair wages and support for their families. The reaction was immediate and electric. Social media exploded with praise for Kate's bold new direction. Fashion blogs worked overtime to decode every element of her look. Young people, particularly those passionate about environmental issues, finally saw a royal figure who seemed to understand their concerns and values. But this was just the beginning. Over the following days, Kate continued to surprise everyone with her choices. A visit to a children's hospital saw her in a bright yellow dress that lit up the pediatric ward like sunshine. The dress, made by a designer who donated a portion of proceeds to children's charities, perfectly balanced Kate's new environmental consciousness with her long-standing commitment to supporting young people. The children's faces when they saw her told the whole story. Instead of the sometimes intimidating formality that royal visits could bring, Kate's vibrant presence created an atmosphere of joy and warmth. She spent hours with the young patients, her yellow dress becoming a beacon of hope in the sterile hospital environment. Nurses later reported that children talked about the Sunshine Princess for weeks after her visit. Her choice of accessories during this period was equally thoughtful. A delicate necklace featuring a pendant made from recycled gold caught attention during a literary award ceremony. The piece, created by a jeweler who specialized in transforming old jewelry into new designs, sparked conversations about sustainable luxury and the circular economy. The literary event itself became another showcase for Kate's evolving style philosophy. She wore a sophisticated black dress with subtle metallic threads woven throughout, creating an effect that was elegant without being flashy. The dress came from a fashion house that guaranteed fair wages for all workers in their supply chain, and used only materials that could be traced back to their source. During her speech at the event, Kate spoke about the power of storytelling to create change, drawing parallels between the books being celebrated and the stories that clothing could tell. Her words resonated with the audience of writers, publishers, and literature enthusiasts, many of whom had never considered fashion as a form of communication before. The media coverage of these early January appearances began to shift the conversation around royal fashion. Instead of focusing solely on cost and designer names, journalists started exploring the deeper meanings behind Kate's choices. Environmental reporters found themselves writing about fashion, while style writers delved into sustainability issues. Fashion students at universities across the country began studying Kate's new approach, analyzing how she balanced tradition with innovation, formality with accessibility. Design schools reported increased interest in sustainable fashion programs, with many prospective students citing Kate's influence as a factor in their decision. The fashion industry itself took notice. Sustainable designers who had struggled for recognition suddenly found themselves inundated with requests for interviews and features. Traditional luxury brands began accelerating their own sustainability initiatives, recognizing that royal endorsement of eco-conscious fashion could reshape the entire industry. Kate's team was carefully monitoring the response, adjusting their strategy based on public reaction while staying true to their core mission of using fashion as a force for positive change. They had expected some pushback from traditionalists, but the overwhelming support encouraged them to be even bolder in their choices. International fashion weeks began incorporating more sustainable designers into their lineups, with many citing the Kate effect as a driving force behind the change. Fashion magazines started dedicating more pages to eco-friendly luxury, and celebrities began reaching out to the same sustainable designers Kate was championing. The ripple effects extended beyond fashion. Young environmental activists reported feeling more hopeful about the future, seeing that influential figures were taking their concerns seriously. Parents noted that their children were asking more questions about where clothes came from and how they were made. As the first week of January drew to a close, it was clear that Kate had achieved something remarkable. She had managed to honor her role as a senior royal while pushing boundaries in a way that felt authentic and purposeful. Her fashion choices were no longer just about looking good, they were about doing good. The anticipation for her next appearances grew with each passing day. Fashion enthusiasts, environmental advocates, and royal watchers all found themselves eagerly awaiting her next public engagement. Social media buzzed with speculation about what she might wear next and which cause or designer she might spotlight. Behind the scenes, Kate was already planning her next moves. She had meetings scheduled with textile innovators, visits planned to sustainable fashion production facilities, and a growing list of young designers she wanted to support. Her January was shaping up to be not just a month of beautiful outfits, but a masterclass in using privilege and platform for positive impact. The first week of January 2026 had set the stage for something unprecedented in royal fashion history. Princess Kate had proven that sustainability and style could coexist beautifully, and that royal influence could be a powerful force for environmental and social good. The world was watching, and Kate was ready to show them just how much more was possible. The second week of January brought a series of events that would showcase another dimension of Kate's evolving style philosophy. Her schedule included visits to multicultural community centers, a meeting with international diplomats, and a celebration of British arts and crafts. Each occasion became an opportunity to demonstrate how fashion could honor different cultures while maintaining royal dignity. Her first major appearance of the week took place at the East London Cultural Centre, where she was meeting with community leaders from various ethnic backgrounds. Kate arrived wearing a stunning deep purple coat that immediately caught everyone's attention. What made this choice particularly meaningful was the intricate embroidery that decorated the collar and cuffs, featuring patterns that drew inspiration from traditional British, Indian, Caribbean, and African textile designs. The coat had been created through a unique collaboration between established British fashion house and artisans from different cultural communities across London. Each embroidered element told a story, representing the rich tapestry of modern British society. Kate had personally met with the artisans during the design process, learning about their techniques and the cultural significance of their work. As she moved through the centre, greeting families and community leaders, the symbolism of her outfit became increasingly powerful. Children from diverse backgrounds saw elements of their own cultural heritage reflected in what the princess was wearing. Parents whispered to each other about the respect she was showing for their traditions, while community elders nodded approvingly at her thoughtful approach. The visit included a stop at a textile workshop where local women were learning traditional embroidery techniques while also mastering modern fashion design. Kate spent considerable time at each workstation, asking detailed questions about the processes and listening carefully to stories about how these skills were being passed down through generations while adapting to contemporary fashion needs. One particularly touching moment occurred when an elderly woman from Bangladesh showed Kate how to create a specific stitch that her grandmother had taught her decades earlier. Kate's genuine interest and patience as she attempted the technique herself created an atmosphere of warmth and mutual respect that cameras captured beautifully. The fashion press was fascinated by the cultural fusion Kate had achieved with her outfit choice. Style experts noted how she had managed to honor multiple traditions without cultural appropriation, instead celebrating the collaborative nature of modern British society. The coat became a symbol of unity and respect, with many praising Kate for using fashion as a bridge between communities. Her next significant appearance was at the Foreign Office, where she was meeting with a delegation of international women leaders. For this occasion, Kate chose a sophisticated navy ensemble, but with carefully selected accessories that told their own story. Her earrings were created by a female artisan cooperative from Rwanda, her bracelet came from a fair trade organization in Peru, and her scarf featured a design by a refugee artist who had settled in Scotland. Each piece represented Kate's commitment to supporting women entrepreneurs and artists from around the world. During the meeting, she spoke about the importance of economic empowerment for women globally, using her own fashion choices as examples of how purchasing decisions could create positive impact. The international delegates were impressed not just by her style, but by the depth of research and intentionality behind every element. The following day brought another surprise when Kate attended the opening of a British crafts exhibition. She wore a tweed suit that appeared traditional at first glance, but closer inspection revealed it was made from innovative fabric that combined traditional British wool with fibers created from agricultural waste. The suit perfectly embodied the theme of the exhibition, which celebrated how traditional crafts were being reimagined for the modern world. At the exhibition, Kate spent time with ceramicists, woodworkers, textile artists, and jewelry makers who were all working to preserve traditional British crafts while making them relevant for contemporary audiences. Her conversations with the artists revealed her genuine appreciation for their work and her understanding of the challenges they faced in maintaining traditional skills in a rapidly changing world. One of the most memorable moments came when Kate tried her hand at pottery. Working alongside a master craftsman who had been perfecting his technique for over 40 years. Her willingness to get her hands dirty, literally, while wearing her beautiful tweed suit, demonstrated her authentic engagement with the crafts community. Photos of her carefully shaping clay while maintaining perfect posture became iconic images that perfectly captured her approachable yet dignified presence. The week also included a private dinner with young British designers who were making waves in the sustainable fashion world. Kate wore a dress created by one of the attendees, a recent graduate from a London fashion school who specialized in zero-waste design techniques. The dress, made from fabric scraps that would otherwise have been discarded, was transformed into something elegant and sophisticated through the designer's innovative approach. During the dinner, Kate engaged in deep conversations about the future of fashion, the challenges facing young designers, and the role that established institutions could play in supporting innovation. The designers later reported feeling inspired and supported, with many saying that Kate's genuine interest in their work gave them confidence to continue pursuing their sustainable design goals. The fashion industry continued to respond to Kate's influence with increasing enthusiasm. Sustainable fashion weeks were being planned in major cities, with organizers specifically citing Kate's example as inspiration for their events. Fashion schools reported record applications for their sustainable design programs, and textile innovation companies found themselves with waiting lists of investors eager to support the next generation of eco-friendly materials. Kate's approach was also influencing other members of the royal family and aristocratic circles. Young royals from other European countries began incorporating more sustainable and culturally conscious choices into their wardrobes, creating a ripple effect throughout royal fashion circles worldwide. The second week of January also saw Kate's first major evening event of the month, a gala supporting arts education in underserved communities. For this occasion, she chose a stunning burgundy gown that represented another breakthrough in sustainable luxury fashion. The dress was created using a new dyeing technique that required no water and produced no chemical waste, while the silk fabric came from farms that provided fair wages and good working conditions for their employees. The gown's design was both timeless and contemporary, featuring clean lines that emphasized Kate's natural elegance while incorporating subtle details that spoke to current fashion trends. The deep burgundy color was perfect for the winter season, while being bold enough to make a statement about her confidence in choosing distinctive rather than safe options. At the gala, Kate delivered a speech about the importance of arts education, drawing connections between creativity in fashion and creativity in all other fields. Her words resonated with the audience of educators, artists, and philanthropists, many of whom began thinking about how they could incorporate sustainability and social consciousness into their own work. The event raised record amounts for arts education programs, with many attendees specifically mentioning Kate's inspiring presence and message as motivation for their generous donations. The combination of her compelling message and striking appearance created an atmosphere that encouraged both contemplation and action. As the second week of January concluded, it was clear that Kate had successfully expanded the conversation around royal fashion beyond sustainability to include cultural respect, international cooperation, and support for traditional crafts. Her choices continue to generate positive media coverage, while inspiring concrete actions from fashion industry professionals and consumers alike. The anticipation for the final week of January grew even stronger as people began to realize they were witnessing a fundamental shift in how royal influence could be used to create positive change. Kate had proven that fashion could be a powerful tool for diplomacy, cultural understanding, and social progress, all while maintaining the dignity and elegance expected of a senior royal. The final week of January 2026 would prove to be the most transformative yet, as Princess Kate prepared to unveil initiatives that would extend her fashion influence far beyond her own wardrobe. Her calendar included the launch of a sustainable fashion mentorship program, a visit to textile innovation laboratories, and a grand finale event that would surprise the entire fashion world. The week began with Kate's visit to the Royal College of Art, where she was launching the Future Fashion Fellowship, a program designed to support young designers working on sustainable and socially conscious fashion projects. She arrived wearing a coat that told an incredible story of innovation and collaboration. The outer fabric appeared to be traditional wool, but was actually created from a revolutionary new material made from food waste and agricultural byproducts. The coat had been designed by the first recipient of the Future Fashion Fellowship, a brilliant young designer who had spent 2 years developing techniques to transform organic waste into luxury textiles. Kate had been following the designer's work closely, providing guidance and support throughout the development process. Wearing the coat to announce the program created a powerful visual representation of what was possible when creativity, sustainability, and royal support came together. During her speech at the college, Kate announced that the fellowship program would provide not just financial support, but also mentorship from established designers, access to sustainable material suppliers, and opportunities to showcase work at major fashion events. The program represented a significant investment in the future of sustainable fashion, with funding provided through a combination of royal patronage and partnerships with forward-thinking fashion companies. The response from the design community was overwhelming. Applications began pouring in within hours of the announcement, with young designers from around the world expressing excitement about the opportunity to develop their sustainable fashion innovations with royal support. Fashion schools reported that their sustainable design courses were suddenly oversubscribed, with students eager to position themselves for future fellowship opportunities. Kate's next major appearance took her to Cambridge, where she visited laboratories working on the next generation of sustainable textiles. She wore a sophisticated grey ensemble that showcased another innovation in eco-friendly fashion. The fabric looked and felt like traditional silk, but was actually created using a biotechnology process that produced silk proteins without involving silkworms, making it both sustainable and cruelty-free. At the laboratories, Kate met with scientists and researchers who were developing everything from fabrics made from mushroom roots to dyes created from bacteria. Her genuine curiosity and intelligent questions impressed the researchers, many of whom had never expected a royal visit to their highly technical facilities. She spent considerable time learning about the science behind textile innovation, demonstrating her commitment to truly understanding the issues she was championing. One of the most exciting moments came when Kate was shown a prototype fabric that could change color based on temperature, potentially reducing the need for multiple garments for different seasons. She immediately grasped the environmental implications of such technology. Asking detailed questions about scalability, her enthusiasm for these innovations was infectious, inspiring the research teams to redouble their efforts. The visit to Cambridge also included a stop at a fashion incubator, where student entrepreneurs were developing sustainable fashion businesses. Kate met with young business owners who were creating everything from rental platforms for designer clothing to apps that helped consumers make more sustainable fashion choices. Her engagement with these entrepreneurs was particularly meaningful, as many of them had been inspired by her own fashion transformation to pursue their sustainable business ideas. The week's middle section brought what many considered the most significant moment of Kate's January fashion journey. She attended the opening of London Fashion Week's new Sustainable Fashion Pavilion, wearing an ensemble that represented the culmination of everything she had been working toward. The outfit combined elements from multiple designers she had supported throughout the month, creating a cohesive look that celebrated the entire sustainable fashion community. Her dress was created by the Rwandan Artisan Cooperative, whose earrings she had worn earlier in the month. Her coat came from the British designer who had created her emerald coat for the first week's Climate Centre visit. Her accessories were provided by various small sustainable luxury brands she had championed. The ensemble demonstrated how sustainable fashion could be every bit as elegant and sophisticated as traditional luxury fashion. At the pavilion opening, Kate delivered what many considered the speech of her royal career. She spoke about fashion as a force for positive change, about the responsibility that comes with influence, and about the incredible creativity she had witnessed from sustainable designers throughout the month. Her words were both inspiring and challenging, calling on the fashion industry to embrace sustainability, not as a constraint, but as an opportunity for innovation. The pavilion itself featured the work of dozens of sustainable designers, many of whom credited Kate's support with helping them reach new audiences. Sales at the pavilion exceeded all expectations, with buyers from major retailers placing significant orders with sustainable brands. The success demonstrated that Kate's influence had created real commercial opportunities for the designers she had championed. International media coverage of the pavilion opening was extensive, with fashion journalists from around the world praising Kate's vision and impact. The event was live-streamed globally, reaching millions of viewers who were inspired by the innovative designs and Kate's compelling message about the future of fashion. The week also included several smaller but equally significant appearances. Kate visited a textile recycling facility where old clothes were being transformed into new fabrics, wearing a blazer made from recycled wool. She met with fashion students at a London university, encouraging them to consider sustainability in their design process. Each appearance reinforced her message while supporting different aspects of the sustainable fashion ecosystem. As January drew to a close, Kate prepared for her final major appearance of the month, a private dinner for sustainable fashion pioneers and innovators. For this event, she chose to wear something completely unexpected, a dress created entirely from her own wardrobe pieces that had been deconstructed and reimagined by a designer who specialized in upcycling. The dress incorporated fabric from several of Kate's previous outfits, transformed into something entirely new, while maintaining elements that royal fashion watchers could recognize. It was a powerful statement about the circular economy and the potential for extending the life of clothing through creative reimagining. The symbolism was perfect for concluding a month that had been all about transforming how people thought about fashion. At the dinner, Kate announced her most ambitious initiative yet, the establishment of a permanent Sustainable Fashion Advisory Council that would work with the royal household to ensure that all royal fashion choices supported sustainable and ethical practices. The council would include designers, scientists, activists, and business leaders, all working together to use royal influence for positive change. The announcement created immediate excitement in the sustainable fashion community, with many seeing it as validation of their work and a sign that the changes Kate had initiated in January would continue indefinitely. Fashion industry leaders began reaching out to offer support for the council, recognizing that royal endorsement could accelerate their own sustainability initiatives. As January 2026 came to an end, the impact of Kate's fashion transformation was undeniable. Sustainable fashion sales had increased dramatically across the UK and internationally. Young people were asking different questions about their clothing choices. Fashion schools were adapting their curricula to include more sustainability education. The entire conversation around fashion had shifted in ways that few had thought possible. Kate had achieved something remarkable, using fashion as a tool for education, inspiration, and change, while maintaining her dignity and elegance as a senior royal. She had shown that tradition and innovation could coexist beautifully, that royal influence could be a force for good, and that fashion could be both beautiful and meaningful. The world was watching as February began, eager to see how Kate would build on the foundation she had created in January. What had started as a month of striking fashion choices had evolved into a movement that was reshaping how people thought about clothing, consumption, and the responsibility that comes with influence. Princess Kate had turned heads, but more importantly, she had opened minds and changed hearts. Her January 26th style journey had proven that fashion could be a powerful force for positive change, and that even the most traditional institutions could evolve to meet the challenges of the modern world. The future of royal fashion, and perhaps fashion itself, would never be the same.